Revolution, come in! Revolution, come in! Hello guys, and welcome to all those training to become a Super Saiyan. Welcome to Revolution. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I really appreciate the support. And if you've got Facebook, who doesn't, visit this group, Dragonball Universe. It's a very active, growing community. So on this video, we are going to break down the polarising death of Merged Zamasu. Quite a lot of the fandom are pretty pissed off at basically the shitload of ass-pulls that happened within the last few episodes of the Zamasu arc. And this was only compiled by the fact that the writers of Dragonball Super failed to articulate what had actually gone down, and has still failed to do so after the arc has finished. However, what I'm going to do in this video is provide a play-by-play analysis of what happened in that fight and use a hit points bar very similar to what you see in the Pokemon games to give the fandom a more comprehensible idea of what the fuck happened at the end of that fight. I'm sure most of you already know who Merged Zamasu is, but for those of you who have stumbled upon this video and don't know, here is a short brief. Merged Zamasu, also known as Fusion Zamasu or just Zamasu, was a fusion born from the union between Goku Black, who is basically Zamasu in Goku's body, and future Zamasu through the use of the Potara earrings. He is the final adversary in the Future Trunks saga or Zamasu arc, and he heavily resembles Zamasu, but he also has some traits of Goku Black, including Goku Black's height, build and hair, despite the hair colour changing. He also has in his possession a time ring, which he wears on his right index finger. Now, you may have seen a representation of Zamasu where he has purple and slimy skin covering half of his body in a very two-faced fashion. Well, that is literally when Zamasu becomes mutated. Zamasu also has a bodiless form, where he lacks a physical body and instead takes the form of a strange green cloud, which also appears to emit some sort of sinister ki that is noticeably indicated by contorted Zamasu faces. Anyway, we'll get more into those latter two forms later. We are going to start this fight off from the beginning of Zamasu's fusion right up until Trunks in his Super Saiyan Akari form lands the final blow. So, let's get started. Now, the first thing that this fused Zamasu does is pronounce himself with a little monologue. In this he says, "Revere me, praise me, this noble and beautiful, immortal and most powerful god, Zamasu." And after this remarkably self-obsessed monologue, he goes to form a halo behind his head, and then states that he has a body that can infinitely increase in strength and is also immortal. So, as Bulma tries to flee, Zamasu sends a ki blast at a nigh indestructible garage. Goku and Vegeta jump in and fire ki blasts back, resulting in a handicapped beam struggle. Whilst this is occurring, Zamasu forms dagger-like ki beams from his halo. He sends these forth at Goku and Vegeta, hitting both of them, knocking them to the ground. And the ones that didn't hit Goku and Vegeta exploded on the ground around them. Zamasu proclaims this attack to be the Blades of Judgment. He then goes on to ramble a bit more, which angers Vegeta, who flies back into the attack, and Goku follows. Zamasu sends a flurry of ki blasts at Vegeta, but he dodges, and he then lands a few ki blasts of his own, but they have little effect. Then Zamasu replies with a new variation of attack called the Lightning of Absolution. First he hits Vegeta, and then Goku gets his turn. They both fall to the floor and lose their Super Saiyan Blue forms. After getting irritated from more babbling from Zamasu, they transform back into their SS Blue states and they fly back at Zamasu. Zamasu fires another lightning of absolution, but together Goku and Vegeta fly straight through it, and now they are in on Zamasu. They both throw a punch, but Zamasu catches both their punches at the same time and then begins to crush their wrists. Then he tosses them both down to the ground and hits them with the lightning of absolution again. Now Goku and Vegeta are down and they are badly hurt. It looks like Zamasu is ready to move in for the kill, but that's when Trunks comes to the rescue, powers up to his Super Saiyan Rage form and attacks Zamasu with his sword. Of course, Zamasu easily blocks all these attacks and fires a ki blast right into Trunks' gut, leaving Trunks barely able to stand. Zamasu goes for the kill and charges a really dense, powerful ki attack and fires it at Trunks, but Trunks isn't going down without a fight and fires back a Gallic gun. This results in a beam struggle, but Zamasu's power is overwhelming and Trunks starts to get pushed back. That is when his father comes in to help with his very own father-son Gallic gun. And after an intense struggle, Vegeta and Trunks go all out with their Gallic guns and push back Zamasu's ki attack, hitting Zamasu directly. However, this leaves Vegeta and Trunks extremely exhausted, and Zamasu only slightly hurt, but with his pride extremely dented, and he is livid. He sends a sword of justice at Trunks, but Vegeta jumps in front of Trunks to save his son and is hit with it himself, which pretty much leaves Vegeta out for the bout. Ever the opportunist, Zamasu goes to take them out with the Holy Wrath attack, but this is where Goku comes to the rescue with a Kamehameha. There is an intense beam struggle between Goku and Zamasu, and at first it seems like Zamasu is winning, but this is where Goku's martial arts cunning comes into play. He gets his Kamehameha to burst through Zamasu's Holy Wrath like a pin to a ball, and his Kamehameha goes straight through all the way to Zamasu, and BAM! Zamasu is hurt. Zamasu's face is disfigured and he's left wide open, and Goku rushes in and unloads with blows of his own. Goku goes for a kick to the head, but Zamasu recovers his senses and catches said kick and then crushes Goku's ankle. In his pain, Goku does the only thing that he can, and it's time for Kaioken! Goku rocks Zamasu with a roundhouse kick, and Zamasu is down. Big damage done to Zamasu. His halo is gone, but Goku is out himself. He is knackered from the Kaioken. Next, we have a conversation between the Supreme Kais, and the incompetent idiot Gowasu is talking about how he's noticed that Zamasu's body is becoming unstable because of his fusion. Well, it's funny that, because he couldn't notice Zamasu's attitude problem beforehand. Anyway, Goku wants to do the fusion, and of course Vegeta doesn't. And of course, Vegeta doesn't want a Senzu beam, but he gets given one anyway, which brings their power levels back to normal, the magic of a Senzu beam. Well, they end up fusing, of course, and the result is Vegito. And this is where we find out the huge retcon for the Potara earrings. They only last 1 hour for mortals. Vegito transforms straight into his blue state and says to Zamasu, "Come get me." Zamasu sends forth a holy wrath, but Vegito blocks it with one hand and completely nullifies that ki attack with ease. Zamasu, shocked, starts to babble, but then he is planted in the face with a straight left from Vegito and then gets a swift kick to the gut. Zamasu tries to fight back with a punch but misses, though this does shock Vegito as he is surprised by Zamasu's power. Zamasu goes for another punch, but it's blocked. They both fly around a building and then have a bit of back and forth action, both punching and kicking, both blocking, both dodging. Vegito eventually connects with a kick to the face, but Zamasu quickly counters with a roundhouse kick to the stomach. This sends Vegito scurrying back. Vegito unloads, but all those shots are blocked. Vegeta then lands a kick to the back of the head and then grabs Zamasu's head and slams it down to the ground. Zamasu is being held down and looks like he's struggling, but then he surprises Vegito with a ki blast from his eye. This sends Vegito flying back, and Vegito definitely feels it. Both Vegito and Zamasu go in for the punch and end up clashing fists. This is where a power struggle happens and the ground starts to give underneath them. And in that ruckus, Zamasu, ever the opportunist, lands a double blow, ending with an uppercut. And Vegito is down. Zamasu needs to end this quickly, so he charges up an energy blade for the kill. But in that moment, Vegito counters with the Spirit Sword attack straight through the abdomen of Zamasu. Zamasu is reeling. Zamasu babbles how he's immortal again and powers up to destroy the Spirit Sword, and the Spirit Sword disintegrates. Then, to get a bit stronger, forces himself to grow larger in his desperation. But this just leads to Vegito unloading on Zamasu. Fair enough, Zamasu's blocking, but he literally cannot keep up with Vegito's speed. Zamasu tries to respond with a ki sword attack, but Vegito dodges gracefully, then hits him with a knee to the chin, a hook to the gut, and then he kicks Zamasu to the floor. Zamasu is starting to look spent, and this is when Vegito fires up the final Kamehameha and fires it and lands a direct hit on Zamasu. Now, to Zamasu's credit, he survives and flies out of the explosion. But just then, Vegito instant transmissions right in front of Zamasu and lands a ki-powered punch right to the face. Smoke is dissipating from Zamasu's face, but then Vegito defuses, and Merged Zamasu cannot believe his luck. Just as it seemed that Vegito needed one more blow to finish the fight, he no longer has enough power to maintain the Vegito blue form and has defused. Zamasu lands a blow on both Vegeta and Goku at the same time, and that is Vegeta and Goku out. And in this moment, Zamasu charges up his Keyblade and goes for the kill, only for Super Saiyan Rage Trunks to come to the rescue again. Now Trunks has turned his broken sword into a ki sword, and this is what he combats Zamasu with. And the incompetent idiot Gowasu now decides to mention that the fusion with the Potara earrings has a power limit. Brilliant. Anyway, after Trunks blocks Zamasu's killing strike with his own ki sword, there ensues a short sword battle. This is a pretty epic scene. Anyhow, it eventually ends with Trunks slicing Zamasu across the chest twice to create an X-shaped wound. Due to half his fusion having an immortal state, he quickly heals his wound and then delivers a massive blow to Trunks, punching straight through Trunks' sword. Trunks is down on the ground. Zamasu then comes in with a vertical swipe, which Trunks duly blocks, and then there is a little power struggle here, in which Zamasu, never to miss an opportunity, takes his time to babble again about how mortals don't deserve their place next to gods. This enrages Trunks, and Trunks powers out. Shortly after that, there is another Power Blade struggle, and this is when the most polarising thing about this whole saga occurs, when Trunks automatically somehow learns the Genki Dharma, otherwise known as the Spirit Bomb. Vegeta and Goku also lend Trunks their power, and Trunks starts to absorb the Genki Dharma into his body and his sword. Then Trunks attacks Zamasu. There's a short sword battle, but you can tell that Zamasu is on the ropes. The overwhelming power of Trunks' Genki Dharma sword breaks Zamasu's ki sword. Then he drives the Genki Dharma sword straight through the chest of Zamasu. Zamasu is pretty much out of it. He pulls out the sword and then drives it through again, right in the groin of Zamasu, then proceeds to tear all the way up Zamasu's body from the groin to the top of the head and splits Zamasu in half. And that is how Merged Zamasu was defeated. His body was badly beaten from taking on 4 beings, and his energy was greatly depleted through those 4 battles. The non-immortal part of his fusion was causing great imbalance within his body, and it started to break down with each attack. But don't worry, Zamasu fans, the immortal Zamasu's essence actually poured out into the universe, so that survived. He is immortal after all. Well, no. Future Zeno turned up and Hakkai'd that shit. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't take this video too literal. It is literally just my perception of what went down in that fight. I do think it's quite solid myself. If you don't agree, make sure you let me know in the comment section. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say is Zamasu was severely weakened before Trunks eventually jumped in and delivered the final blow. Anyway guys, just like Goku did at the end of this arc, he pressed the Xeno button. Now, like I said before, that subscribe button is like your very own Xeno button to get all my content as soon as it's released. Please subscribe guys, I really would appreciate the support. Now, please remember guys, if some narcissistic arrogant god turns up to your planet, kills everyone you know, then threatens to destroy you, your family and the planet, staying calm at that arrogant god will only ensure you will never unlock Super Saiyan Ikari.